So if the Spurs do pick Dylan Harper in the NBA draft, how will he fit with Victor Wembanyama?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kens 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. And I hope y'all had a great 3-day weekend. But, trust me, I definitely enjoyed the day off of recording Locked On Spurs yesterday. But we are back here to catch you up on the latest and greatest on the San Antonio Spurs, silver and black, your favorite NBA team. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kens 5 Plus app, YouTube. Also, don't forget, get those subscriptions up. Go to the YouTube page, click on subscribe, leave a comment. We're even in a future episode of Locked On Spurs, like maybe on this episode. More on that later. What are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at the possibility, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, of the Spurs possibly drafting Dylan Harper. All signs are pointing in that way. And how will he fit with Victor Wembanyama? Look, the team is built obviously around Wemby, right? But you got to have the right pieces. Is he the right fit moving forward with Wemby? And then we're going to get into a Locked On Spurs fan comment and so much more. It's going to bring in our guest, everybody. He is back. I was looking for the music. I was waiting for the music to cue up there, Rudy. Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me back. And it's TikTok is at Sweep the League Radio, trying to build that up, man. So we'll talk more about it at the end of the show, kind of the direction we've been kind of going in a way. So, yeah, appreciate you having me back on, man.
Is that what the kids are doing now? TikTok is like the bigger thing now than X and what was that, Blue Sky and all that stuff. Is that? But I think TikTok's a place to be, I guess.
Yeah, for me, but to sum it up, we're kind of getting away from the long episodes to just kind of short content, short videos, and I know X and Facebook and stuff. It's just kind of played out, I guess, in a way, is what it is. So everybody needs the videos and the content that way. So we're kind of shifting that way right now.
Here we're going to be discussing the possible fit, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, of Dylan Harper with Wemby. Before we start, Rudy, another report via Mark Stein came out that's saying the Spurs are more than likely 99.9% they're going to draft Dylan Harper. That's 2 now. You had Gavoni of ESPN saying the same thing. Yeah, all signs are pointing to the Spurs keeping the number 2 pick and that name being called Dylan Harper. All right, so let's go with that assumption. Obviously something could change between now and the draft, but we'll go with that for purposes of this show. Now, obviously, this team is building around Wemby. He is the focal point. You got to make sure you have the right pieces around him to maximize his abilities and, of course, give him a supporting cast that will fit with him moving forward. And hopefully the Spurs going back to the championship form that they once were. So let's start off with that then. So right off the bat, if the Spurs do select Harper, the big obvious thing is the playmaking ability that will pair well with Victor Wembanyama. I mean, his ball handling is elite. And out there, Rutgers, I saw some of the clips of him. He can handle the ball, so check off that box. He can pass the ball. He has the ability to create off the dribble. Last season with Rutgers, 19.4 points per game, 4 assists, 4.6 rebounds. He is the ideal facilitator for Victor moving forward. Of course, everybody else as well around on the court. Since Wemby commands those double teams, you've got to have a guy like Harper who can generate the looks, who can, obviously work well, throw lobs to Wemby the basket. Like playmaking ability of Harper fits well. What are your thoughts, Rudy?
So the playmaking for Dylan Harper, it's elite. He's probably the best playmaker, the number 1 highest rated guard in the NBA draft right now. He's a floor general. I mean, he's got the NBA background for his dad, his NBA legend, Ron Harper, who's one of the best 2-way guards in the league at his time in Cleveland. Great opportunity, man. He puts his teammates in perfect positions to succeed. Hey, having him play next to Wemby is going to be a pick and roll. It's going to be a pick and roll nightmare for defenses. Because not only that, he's going to have a guy like De'Aaron Fox who's able to shoot the 3. He's going to have a guy like Stephon Castle who's going to be cutting back door. You've got Harrison Barnes on the perimeter. The sky's the limit with Dylan Harper and his playmaking ability for the Spurs. That's probably going to be his biggest asset to the team if he is drafted at number 2 with San Antonio.
You're not done talking about the playmaking ability. You look at last season with Rutgers, I believe, he averaged about 5.5 free throws per game. So he definitely is very aggressive getting to that rim. And again, it kind of inversely creates space for Wemby, because if he's penetrating, getting to the rim, you're going to see defenses kind of collapse, dish it out to Wemby for an easy dunk, maybe an open 3 shot or a mid-range shot. It's going to do well for Wemby in that capacity. So it's going to force defenses to collapse on him with his ability to attack the rim. Open space for Wemby. You like that. And let's not forget, Wemby, I know it pulls Spurs fans pull their hair out with Wemby considering his height, but he's one of the Spurs' better 3-point shooters, and when all comes to it. So if he likes to hit the 3 shot, if that's his thing that he wants to add to his bag there, Rudy, why not get somebody who can create that space with Dylan Harper? Your thoughts?
Yeah, and the good thing about Harper is that if Wemby is a 3-point shooter, he likes his jump. He likes to take a lot of threes, as we've seen. What is it, like 10, 12 threes a game? Most of the time. It draws the defensive bigs out to the perimeter, which is perfect for a player like Dylan Harper, who I'll talk about one of my strengths here in a little bit, but it kind of plays into it as playmaking. He can get to the basket. He can create around the rim. He can suck the defense all the way in, and then he's going to have, like I said, De'Aaron Fox is going to be open in the perimeter. He's going to have Stephon Castle. I mean, the thing with Harper is that he creates so much chaos, and that is due to his playmaking ability. He can either get to the basket, finish at the rim. He can stop, pull up for a mid-range. He can shoot the 3 ball, which is one of his weaknesses is 3-point shooting, but it's not as bad as people think. So he's going to have a lot of open opportunities. He's just going to create havoc with the San Antonio Spurs with Victor Wembanyama right next to his side.
Yeah. Again, if the Spurs do pick him, it looks like they will. Harper's playmaking ability fits well with Wembanyama. Let's continue on and look at other aspects of Harper's game that will fit well with Wemby should the Spurs go that direction at number 2 pick, is the defensive potential. And I like what I see out of him. I know he's not the greatest defender coming out of college, at least in the strap, but he's good. I'm not saying he's elite. He's really, really good. Let's look at some of the numbers here. 1.4 steals per game at Rutgers last season, which is not too shabby. He can hold his own defensively, ease that burden on Wemby, he's help out. If he's paired up with Castle, he's paired up with Fox on that court. The perimeter defense should not take much of a hit should Castle or Fox take a breather and they insert a Harper to give those guys a breather. So with that aspect, I like the defensive potential it has. Maybe it won't be to its height in his rookie season, but talk about a perimeter defense for Wemby. That first line of defense should help Wemby defensively as well. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and it's kind of weird if you go with Harper, Castle, and De'Aaron Fox. Dylan's actually 3rd, and that's actually a pretty decent thing because he's not going to have to guard their best player on the perimeter, but yet he still is capable of being a lockdown defender. When you've got guys like Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox ahead of you guarding the best players on their team, the guards on the other team, and Dylan Harper guarding around that 3 guy. Because of his size that he's got, it's going to be good for him. He's going to be able to help. He's going to be able to help on the off the ball. Wemby's going to enjoy it. I mean, he's got a wall of defenders already on the perimeter before anybody can get to the basket. It actually benefits a guy like Jeremy Sohan as well, who is a really good defender for the San Antonio Spurs. So when you have that little wall with Harper, Fox, and Castle already, then you've got to come into the paint to do with a guy like Wemby or even Jeremy Sohan. It's going to be a defensive-minded team for the San Antonio Spurs. And that's something that if you go back in time, Jeff, I mean, defense was winning championships for the Spurs, and you're kind of getting back into that mix of things with getting a guy like Dylan Harper who can help on the perimeter with defense. Not the greatest defender in the draft. Definitely needs a lot of work on it, but it's not as much as people think. I mean, come on. His dad's Ron Harper, one of the best defenders we've seen in the game. So he can give him a couple of tips here and there.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I highlighted that second point I brought up. He has good defensive potential. And that's what I like, because these guys are still young. When Harper's going to be 19 right now. So if he's going to be on that rebuild timeline, it fits perfectly with Wemby and the rest of the crew. We're not done talking about Harper and his mix, his blend with Wemby. When we get back, Rudy's going to bring up an interesting point about Harper and what he could bring to, well, a lot. Just put it that way. He has a lot of this. You'll talk about that in just a few minutes with Rudy Campos. The days are getting longer, the weather's warming up, and people are spending more time outside, which means it's a perfect time to refresh your outdoor space. Whether you're working on a big backyard or a small balcony, Wayfair is everything you need to make it feel more like you. Wayfair's massive selection of outdoor essentials makes it easy to transform any space into your ideal setup, from comfy conversations sets to sleek dining tables and outdoor decor. They got it all at prices that fit your budget. Look, you're looking for what about a dining set? They got that. What about strings of lights? They got that too. Wayfair helps you extend your outdoor space. They got a mix of styles that they can offer you and make it super easy to find pieces and pretty much match any type of vibe without spending a fortune. Delivery is free, hassle-free, even for the big stuff. So whether you're entertaining guests or just relaxing solo, shop Wayfair to help you unwind. Shop a huge selection of outdoor furniture online right now. This summer, get outside with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Rebecca here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League, but follow him on TikTok at Sweep the League Radio right now. So, Rudy, we highlighted the playmaking ability, and that's the big advantage that he's going to bring to the Spurs, right? We talked about Harper's defensive potential. It's going to be good. It's a good foundation, but it'll definitely get better. But you're going to bring up something that's kind of like an X factor, an intangible, what Harper brings. What is that?
So for me, what's kind of good about Dylan Harper, and I'll give you 2 quick points, but the first one I want to hit on is it's his size and strength. I mean, you're talking about a 6'6" guy who's a point guard. I mean, you go back in the day, Magic was 6'9". Penny Hardaway was 6'7". So a guy that's 6'6" that can play point guard, very big point guard, has the strength, can finish around the basket. He can absorb the contact, kind of get hit while he's getting to the basket, get an and one, similar to a guy who's on the Spurs right now and Stephon Castle. But Harper is a stronger guy compared to Stephon Castle, and he can finish a lot better around the rim. And that's saying a lot because Steph can finish around the rim. We've seen him do it, but Harper is just that much better at it. So the size and the strength for Dylan Harper, it's going to be huge for the Spurs. And that's what I like to see is he's going to be able to attack the basket, get those and ones, put a lot of the other guards in foul trouble. It's going to make life a lot easier. That's the one point I want to hit. And I know you want to talk about that. The smaller point is the biggest intangible is this. His IQ on the court is off the charts. He puts his players, his teammates in the right position every single time. And what's great about it is you saw the Spurs have a lot of close games. And 2 years ago, they were kind of faltering. Chris Paul came in. They were able to win some of those games, but they still had some of those games where they still lost it at the end. They couldn't keep their composure. Stuff was happening. Dylan Harper is a very calm, cold-mannered player, especially for a rookie. It's his basketball IQ. He knows what he wants to do before the play is actually going to happen. So it's just the understanding of the game. It's decision-making. It's his basketball IQ. That is something that is getting overlooked by a lot of people and a lot of fans out there. Those are my 2 biggest ones right there.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned his size, 6'6", but he also has a 6'10", 6'11" wingspan.
6'10" wingspan.
I mean, that is just insane versatility right there, offensively and defensively. Defensively, trying to play in the passing lanes with him and Wemby, forget about it. You're going to get pickpocketed right there. I think his versatility just pairs well with the Spurs. First of all, the Spurs are committing to pretty much to positionless basketball. There we go. Because they do select Harper. I mean, what more bigger sign can you get that they don't mind having 3 guards on the roster and moving forward? So that's a huge sign. But I just think it allows for Harper and Wemby together just to have a dynamic, versatile, length on that court. It's just so much that you could do with that length and that versatility and that size there. Do you think he could post up smaller guards in this situation?
Oh, definitely. That's an advantage in his size and strength is that he's able to post up and dominate smaller guards. So that's why the thing is when he's, when Victor is out on the perimeter and you've got Victor running a pick and roll with De'Aaron Fox, Harper can be posted down in the low post and just take it right at the guard or whoever's guarding him. So he presents a massive mismatch for a lot of players in the league. Just think, you saw the success of the Detroit Pistons this past season, massively success because of a player like Cade Cunningham. You're basically getting Cade Cunningham in
Yeah,
Dylan Harper. I mean, it's pretty much the exact style of player. So who doesn't want a player like Cade on the team? He can be a really big menace when it comes to dominating other guards.
Yeah, I would even highlight this, just the long-term potential. Let's just say, cross week it doesn't happen, but something's got to give, or Castle leaves. I mean, you hope it doesn't happen. Some sort of trade has to come down. You got to flip Castle. I'm not advocating they trade Castle, everybody. I'm just showing a scenario where that could happen. You're going to be okay because you have Harper there as well to fill the void, and there's that. But I mean, look, should the Spurs select them, and again, all signs are pointing to yes. That's going to just add more versatility, playmaking ability, and potential defensive impact to pair with Wemby in the Wemby era moving forward. The Spurs, I mean, it's a no-brainer. At number 2, if they keep it, you got to go Dylan Harper, right? Have you changed any of your stance on that? Number 2 has to be Harper. There's no other way that can come down, right? Right, Rudy?
Well, Harper's number 1 on my prospect list. Like I said, it was Harper, Bailey, and Cooper Flagg. Hasn't changed. Again, they're not getting drafted that way, but yeah, if Harper's there too, I think Harper fits really good. Now, Ace Bailey has the higher ceiling of all 3 guys. I think Harper, you're getting the player you want. He's going to improve a little bit more. He's going to get better. But I think Ace Bailey has the higher ceiling of the 3. So it's kind of like a little project. You got to kind of weigh with that. But Dylan Harper right now is the for sure number 1 prospect. He's the only prospect that the Spurs should have on their board, unless Dallas, which I'll break it on Locked On Spurs. Dallas is 99.0% chance of taking Cooper Flagg. There is some rumble that Dylan Harper may go number 1. So I'll just say that. I'll tell you on Locked On, but there's some rumbles that Dylan Harper may end up going number 1 when it's all said and done. So again, this is all hypothetical stuff we're talking on Locked On.
Is it a win-win situation? Let's just say Harper does go number 1. I mean, then there's Flagg. I mean, it's like, oh no, not Cooper Flagg, not the Spurs,
Flagg fits better with the Spurs than Harper does. And I'm saying that because I think he basically checks off a lot of boxes that the Spurs need to check off, where Harper checks off a couple of boxes, but it doesn't solve the height, the big man, the versatile scorer that is 6'10" plus. So I think Flagg checks more boxes for the Spurs than Harper does. But again, if Harper's there too, because Flagg goes 1, you take Dylan Harper.
Exactly. Well, there you have it. Those are our thoughts on Dylan Harper's fit with Victor Wembanyama. It's promising defensively. It's immediate with the playmaking. It's not perfect, but it is like Rudy just said right now, it's the obvious pick. You go with Harper. And again, all signs are pointing to that happening. He can shoot. He can play off the ball. He can create. He can defend somewhat. He just fits the Spurs and Wemby and creating a nice 1-2 punch for the Spurs moving forward. All right, those are our thoughts about Dylan Harper's fit with Victor, because this is the Victor Wembanyama era in San Antonio. What do you think? You think the Spurs should maybe talk to Dallas and say, hey, what about number 1 pick? What do you want for that? What do you think? How does the Wemby and Harper, meshing come together in your eyes? Let Rudy know on TikTok. You see it on your screen if you're watching on YouTube at Sweep the League Radio, or just go to X at Sweep the League. You can let me know your thoughts by going to Locked On Spurs YouTube page, leaving a comment. We'll get to it in a future episode of Locked On Spurs. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to get into a couple comments, maybe 1 or 2. We'll see how it goes. See what you guys are talking about over at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. But first, I want to talk to you about Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place. You just stop managing your money and start building wealth. You get surprising insights. When you start using a Monarch, you'll realize just how much you're spending on food delivery. You can budget smarter. You can save more. What about easy collaboration? You can manage money with your partner smoother than ever. You can track and share personal accounts, set goals, stay on the same page without the stress. All in one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off. Yeah, 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com SportsGrid.com. The code is Locked On NBA for half off your first year. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. He is on TikTok at Sweep the League Radio. More on that in just a few minutes. Hey, we're going to be discussing some Locked On Spurs fan comments. We'll pick one. It's kind of a heavy-duty one, all right? So Kirby earlier in the show was talking about, like, well, the possibility they trade, Castle, you got Harper, blah, 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 right? Well, seems like Spurs fans are still kind of like, no, you can't trade Harper. I mean, you can't trade Castle. Keep him. Here's what I mean. So let's see what this fan had to say. This is from Eddie Sequeria, 4839. Now, he left a long comment, or we'll just read a portion of it. He goes, there's a reason the Spurs won't include him, Castle, in any trade. I mean, just look at what he's been able to accomplish so far. Barring an injury last season was the worst version of Castle we're going to see. It would appear we're building a team of combo guards and some of the best two-way players in the league. Castle will be in the All-Star game by season 2 or 3, and he would give Victor competition for the Defensive Player of the Year. All right. So what do you think about that? Obviously Castle has a lot of upside. There's no doubt about it. Rookie of the Year, all rookie team, All-Star, Rising Stars MVP. I mean, the list goes on and on what he did in his first season. He is definitely becoming a core member of this team moving forward. Harper does throw a little wrench in that, though. But are we there still ready to say practically that Castle is untradeable? Your thoughts?
Man, you always put me on the spot because I'm the one that said take calls on Tim Duncan and all that stuff. So again, I use the take call on every player method. You've got to see what's out there. I mean, Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year, All NBA rookie team, potential to be an All-Star. Definitely, at least in some point of his career, he's got that potential to be an All-Star. But at the same time, it depends on the timeline. If you want to win now and you have the opportunity to get a superstar and you have to give up Stephon Castle, if that superstar makes sense, then you kind of got to do what you got to do, with the exception of this, is that if you're getting rid of number 2 and Stephon Castle, it is definitely hang up the phone. I mean, that's just my opinion there. If you're getting rid of one of them, then you have to listen to the conversation. You got to hear the packages, because some of these packages, I mean, because you even talked about even a good friend of the show, James Pledger, he brought up a scenario where it's Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis for the number 2 pick, and then like Keldon Devin. So something like that, that is that's a guarantee compete right now type of team. So you don't want to necessarily say no on Castle for trades, because if he can bring in somebody that's going to make your team a championship contender right now and you don't have to wait for it, then you have to do it. I mean, let's put it this way, guys. You love your teammates, you love your team, you love the players on the team, but you cannot be that, like, you can't be I guess what it is, massively in love with them, because these guys are not, there's only one team to win the title every year. There's only one team. So you've got to either win now or you can win later, but there's no opportunities to win later if you can't build for it. So again, don't fall in love with the players. It's a business. Treat it as a business, and you got to take calls on everybody.
Yeah, and it's not just the commenter that we ran out from Eddie. I mean, the next comment after that one from Steelers says Castle should be untouchable in any trade. Just scratches the surface of how good it could be. I wouldn't go that far as say any trade, because we'll just use Giannis. That's the big name right now.
Yeah.
The Bucks say, Giannis, he wants to go to San Antonio. Let's make it happen. But you got to throw in Castle in there. Oh, man, that's tough, because you see Castle's upside, but that's a generational player coming to go to San Antonio.
Yeah.
That's somebody that pushes Spurs out of the rebuild and then some, like a mile outside of that tunnel, and gets them into playoff contention now. So it's a good topic. It's a good topic. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is if I'm Milwaukee, I want the number 2 pick, because I look at Stephon Castle. Does he fit playing next to Dame? Stephon Castle is going to have to be my alpha, because Dame's going to be out for pretty much, half the year minimum with his injury. So he's going to have to be my alpha. Can Stephon Castle be an alpha of a team? If I'm looking at Milwaukee, hey, you're Rookie of the Year, you're All NBA first team rookie, but I didn't see anything that's going to say you're going to average 25, 26 a game. you're going to take me to the promised land. I'd rather just get some picks for Giannis. That way I can start my rebuild now. When Dame comes back, we have a pretty good group of young guys. So let's be real. The number 2 pick is probably the biggest thing that is going to be dangled for a lot of these other players. I doubt we'll see Stephon Castle mentioned in any trade scenario because, again, a lot of these teams that need an alpha, he's not quite there yet. I don't know if they have time to wait for him to be that alpha. He fits perfect with San Antonio. That's why I really think he stays with the Spurs in the long run.
We shall see. All right. We thank y'all for leaving those comments. Keep them coming. It's a long off season, so we'll need your help right here on Locked On Spurs. He is Rudy Campos. Follow him on X at Sweep the League and on TikTok at see on your screen, Sweep the League Radio. So tell us what's going on there. Sweep the League Radio on TikTok. What you got cooking?
Yeah, so everybody knows we are on YouTube still. It's at Sweep the League TV on YouTube. You can subscribe there. We were live Monday through Friday, but that kind of has all changed a little bit. So for everybody that's on Locked On Network and Locked On Spurs been looking for us, we haven't been live, but we're starting to get back onto it. You're going to see a few live shows. You're going to see a lot of recorded stuff, but we're transitioning also over from YouTube, where we still will be there, to TikTok at Sweep the League Radio. As you can see, hit that subscribe and follow button on Sweep the League Radio on TikTok, because you're getting 2 different types of shows now. You're getting one on TikTok, you're getting one on YouTube, so you're getting a massive amount more content.
Absolutely. Make sure to follow Rudy again on X at Sweep the League. There you can see all the links and where to go to check out his show on YouTube, Sweep the League Radio. By the way, during one of the breaks we had, the Bucks offered a trade you, Rudy, for you. They offered a root beer float and Fritos for you. I don't know if I should take that deal. I don't know. Is that too much?
No, that's actually pretty good. I would say that the only negative is it has to be the chili cheese Fritos. Then if they did that, that's you do it with no hesitation.
Hey, are you down with Doritos on nacho cheese?
So back in my big boy days, which I have gained 20 pounds, sorry, but back in my really big boy days, Dorito and nacho cheese was a must. It was actually
don't think
Cool
that's
Ranch.
Too much cheese?
I used Cool Ranch. So Cool Ranch, Doritos, and cheese. So the cheese Doritos, the regular Doritos, and the cheese, that's a little bit. But Cool Ranch for me.
See, now I want to try Cool Ranch nacho cheese now.
Yeah,
try that. I never tried that one. All right.
So,
now I'm getting hungry, everybody. Thanks for
I'll give you a little secret before you go. Original Bugles and nacho cheese. That tastes used to get me all the time. Sorry.
That is now going to sound I have to do ASAP. I'm going to do that right now. Show. Again, he is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Go to X at Sweep the League. Check out all the links there. And, of course, all his posts regarding all sports on his timeline. We thank y'all for being Locked On Spurs. Just being fans of Locked On Spurs and coming here for the first and only spot for all things silver and black. You guys are the everydayers. Keep it up. Be sure to subscribe on Locked On Spurs YouTube page, iTunes, Spotify, Kensify Plus app. You know where to go. Go do that ASAP. We'll be back tomorrow talking all things silver and black as the season the offseason, I should say, continues. Assistant, check out Locked On NBA Big Board Show. NBA draft expert Rafael Barlow reacts to every workout, interview, rumor leading up to the NBA draft. Find Locked On NBA Big Board on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. So for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs.